To be on the divine stage and to be in one's divine stage, align enlightenment we find we bind not as a binder, for we excel beyond a script lined in page. To obtain understanding of everything, to attain the unknown. To be of light within dark, be the spark, then all is shown. What's more, what's less, and what's all in between? The mind will blur, sure, but we to be more a character acting out a scene. To interpret and analyze, sit and visualize. To dream the steamed cotton seam, sew and realize. The thread between the living and dead, the bridge between mortality. To see beyond the mystery and present passive fallacy. To discover and uncover, to witness the screening. To be a staple, to instill a thrill beyond life's meaning. You are the interpreter, script writer, actor, and character. To decipher the bounds between reality and fantasy, the divine lines differ. The divine theatre of our being houses our stage. The all-seeing eyes seat accordingly. The spectators, ancient spectres of the forgotten age, come to see the world we mold to be. Our lives are our canvas, portrait, script, and set. They gaze upon for the sake of sacred entertainment. To forget forsake the take unmet. To forget one's lines restricts attainment. To act upon impulse in nature sets a colorful scene. The forest symbology, freedom, beauty, stature. Lawlessness, this, unprecedented, serene. We perform based on the world's form. To act, to react, to reenact is fact. We see the ancient clouds crowd and swarm. To enshroud, disavowed, our view no longer intact. Sure, external factors partly dictate our fate. How we live and react therein is out of our control. Untrue to say our play is to correlate, simply to see we, the writer of our role. Wickedness won't breed wickedness unless you allow. Darkness won't spread darkness. To be the spark your light will endow. To see through the pain, to line the rain, to pour soul down drain, or the soul shine upon the plain. You are the playwright, as you sought all to be told. You are under the spotlight. The spectators await for what unfolds. There's a curtain call, spectators greeted and seated. Before the fall and rise and all, angel eyes comprise succeeded. The spotlight shine, a shadow cast, to forget one's lines, born already lost. The magic of theatre correlates within life, to be seated by an usher, a quest to be ushered out of strife. We act simply by living, our voice, our choice, the play's trajectory, both blessing and unforgiving. For actor and scripter we may proceed heavenly or through purgatory. Still we have the free will. We write our mortal script, until the divine underlying quill marks before us beyond crypt. Our plot has been summarized, open to individual interpretation, alteration, revision, or simply visualized, to succeed or proceed with premeditation. To simply point out, the angels spectate the scene. Whether you within or without, the role, the soul will be seen. We all play a part in a grand scale show. Will you proceed with heart, or define your art by more than you know? The story of our lives is comparable to that of plot in media. That's why in literature, theatre, and cinema, we find it often is adapted so. We each in our own story are in the role of the main character, but this doesn't necessarily mean we always play the hero. We take the center stage in the divine theatre of our being, a sort of realm within a realm playing part to a greater show, an act within an act, a sacred saga beyond screening, foreseeing everything spectors only know. The finale, the conclusion for ourselves we may orchestrate, to conform or not conform, perform for self or help reform, but for the world in its entirety merely only speculate. Still cast in light and shadow grows, and overcast clouds enshroud the world in storms. We all make an impact no matter how seemingly small, but will it be our roles to create or bring destruction? This is up to us to help the world stand or fall, but how far will it go to set the world's final production? Are you of able mind to transcend all you see, to be of fable kind, to cross from reality into fantasy, to alter fact from fiction, to realize the unknown, to look beyond prediction, and visualize all life had never shown? What is your divine purpose? How far will you go? To scratch beneath the surface, break through cracks in sight of glow. The gleam is a dream, but could it be realized, no matter how strange it might seem, to have epiphany materialized? This is the question among great many mysteries, for some becomes obsession, lost unto philosophies. Does fate correlate? But alas, we write our own script, narrow columns lining straight, to be of no use when the page is ripped. What drives you? What do you hope to accomplish? Do you long to break through? Do you hope to be astonished? We simply can tread accordingly, single file drawn, stationary schooling, but to step out of line insistently can break the system of ruling. Once marginalized and bordered, now disorder would unfold. The lines that bind have now been blurred, leaving space for many stories to be told. A great open world, picture as blank canvas, ready to be filled, to make something out of nothingness. You are the script, your life the act. Will your role be stripped or kept yours intact? You shape your fate, but not the world's. Will you be led straight or lead your world unfurled? What say you, divine reason? Have you found ancient wisdom? Have you forgotten you fall before the cotton season? To define, to intertwine, the thorny vine we climb to cut line to kingdom. The prickly, sickly feeling, overwhelmingly in pleasure and worry, our woven act sown revealing. Riches enriched in worldly story. Reaped from attainment, the simple things enshroud mind, the mind fog to hog atonement. Enlightenment of the senses, spiritual cleanses, dense and bind. Partake in drunkenness, temporary clarity, or that's the illusion. To find something out of nothingness, but what's the solution? The divine theater is dim, the lights have gone out, atmosphere grim, sincere void of doubt. The story commences, we roll on instinct, the climax tenses, all falls distinct. All acting is method acting when it takes place in the divine theater of our being, for in real time, a constant enacting, the chosen are the only worthy of foreseeing. The spectators, specters, hang about from the outer realm, to seat before the world and yet reside beside the stars, in relation, ship, at helm, stir a blur beyond Mars, to be of stars spiritually and celestially, we the stars of our own space, to be in place of both simultaneously, the lines border ritually, still we can't trace, to anchor our ancestors' line, the relationship with past, descend upon descendant's shrine, vision vast to be cast from the mast. To consult with the stars is astrology or theatrology, to play with mind the play of mind. We storm and swarm, enshroud the sky, overcast beauty, behind the roll the soul, we're blind. To see before the image we orchestrate, the orchestra infused, we mused a vision. To relate or fixate, but do we even correlate? Defer fact, prefer fiction, really that is our decision. We step on set, intercept with fret. We hear the call to action or fall in reaction. We search for sunset, born to dawn, a dawn unmet. Clouded visionary, we see but fraction. The director brings closure, both introduction and conclusion. So true for two producer knows the plot and the timeline. We the scripter, actor and character dictate the inclusion. The spark in dark, the gap we fill, the wick we lay in line. To burn out when lighten, this is the question. The feel is simply sourced from our perception. Our spirits are but hopeful, but alas, met with tension. Develops character sure to ensure or deter will we find or bind resolution. What know you fear? How does it compel you? Limited and adhere, or surpass and excel through. To confront and expel underlines a great strength. To realize heaven through hell, to breach far in great length. To surpass fear in its entirety, to bring forth life, to be reborn entirely and adorn apparent strife. To be the light in the darkness, the divine stage is set. A living thrill fills the emptiness, eventful, triumphant over fret. The unknown is fear, so come to learn the unknown. The mindful walls fall, cleansed and clear. Beyond the doors of perception, the halls will be shown. The future is uncertain. It's the uncertainty that naturally we fear. Retract fact, the unveil of the curtain, to unmask the face of adversity and uncertainty, the role we adhere. The divine stage has been set, The part we play has been given. Through our acts, our fate has been met. The lines we can't prepare but recite from within. Our roles are ever changing. Dare we try alter fate? For in need of systemic rearranging, or for unto the calling we participate. Puzzled in existence, we are but individual pieces still. Even in sustenance, there is a gap we overlap and fill. This way society functions. Unaware we shape the lives of others. Having filled we build a junction. Therein all before concurs. Still we know not the answer, the question of our fate. Our reasoning may be sure, but not entailed how we correlate. For a divine purpose, we play the part presented, until the curtain closes, certain only of all precedented. We did not audition, cast by our superior, how we find to bind addition, the kind the mind defined, exterior. Don't you know in theatre there are no second takes, in accordance with performance and atmosphere, to be sincere in place of mistakes. You know of a live stream, in this case a mortal timeline, living, flowing in the stream, the waters of life, the current divine. If you stumble upon a waterfall, if you tumble down a river, to come in place of all, compliant, current still a server. To lead a journey, or to be led by other rafters, to be of and come to see, either discoverer or also drifter. You only get one go, choices can't be undone but unmade. You can't alter the flow, but change course, then be swiftly swayed. To fall into the waterfall, to die can't be reset. Your life witnessed by all, you chose the very set. Take it as it comes, be assured of action and its consequence. When your orchestra beats its final drum, you know in heart your part, your sequence. Just as in theatre, fail to perform then improvise, for interrupted, ruined, ensure. The show must go on, it's then we realize. The significance of celebrities in society in equivalence to the system of school popularity. For example, the captain of the school football team, sure he got girls, had skills, and was esteemed. Post-graduation, what's become of his life? Maybe success, maybe poverty and strife. In no way does it affect your life. You probably forgot he exists. The same with death. Post-life, what matters it, the A-lists? There's no effect and no impact. Regardless of status, one thing remains fact. We all die sooner or later. With this, the divine line further blurs. Your memory fades with the deaths of your loved ones and friends. Your story fades when the world in its so-called glory ends. Do you want to write in the shadow of a glow, or write of the only sun you know night follows? To be concurrent with the story of others, or to be the current story as well the one who concurs? This is your world as much as any other person of society, before the category, for no celebrity transcendent of humanity. We're all actors in soul. Have you figured this out? Both within and without our roles, we scripters are authors about. Walking, writing tales on instinct, the cover we cover the book of our lives in. Surely we can see therein lies the lies distinct. Openly designed we define the underlines within. We mask a role with another, surrounded by others who do the same. Still a greater role we combine, intertwine, the lines blur. They concur, souls of sulfur stir, spark, ignite, and inflame. Lies consume, spread like a wildfire. Truth only left to presume, embarks the sparks dire. Forest burns and freedom is lost, but does lawlessness maintain the tree symbology humanity cost? How will material retain? You can't write on air. The book of your life is empty. Nothing to add or tear. You're stuck, portrayed simply. Not even drafted. No distinction. Sure no lies to be crafted. So too no truth for aspiration. To be but a page. Formed a chapter of worldly history, but of your divine stage. To be the author, character, and story. The divine theatre of our being takes note of the book of your life. The spectators ever seeing whether you bring the world blessing or strife, to stand out in civilization, to stand out before the crowd, to bring about revelation, first to be cast for first to be avowed. You write your story at your own discretion, to do so simply and orderly, to make little impression, to fill with wonder and desire, joy, passion, and magnificence. One simply can't help but admire. It is then your life becomes that of significance. To realize and revolutionize, to see and be of beauty and free, the golden skies we visualize, to flow free in the sacred sea. To capture such feels, especially in the land of the living, adorn the vast movie reels that silver screen is always giving. Color your world, shape your story, let of all that's filled be of beauty and glory. Or if you will it to be simply simplicity, your story, your reality, you choose whether to chase fantasy. Don't you understand yet? You're the writer to undercome or overcome fret. You're the decider. The book of your life, would you like it to be memorable, or rather a bitter reminder of the strife the side characters instill? To tell of tale, rich in life preferred, it's through this we find another trail, another direction deferred. From all we'd seen, uncharted land, you are the scene. When will you understand? My divine purpose I've yet to see. I barely scratched beneath the surface, barely tore the fabric of reality. See this as my testimony, my solemn devotion to attain, to see the sanctity of sanctuary, worldly and heavenly, to realize visualized divinity's plane. To cross the border, the divine line that's a blur, to be of place of chaos and disorder, to witness the screening when all let's astir, the magic of imagination, the outer hemisphere of theater, to realize before the eyes of fascination, in mortality the infinite becomes clear, to write upon the path entailed, to blaze a trail under fiery craze, to see the curtains unveiled, to see the seating rows become a maze. What do I mean? Well, try figure it out. To act the final scene, one must first be rid of doubt, of self and all things, be ready for foreseeing, or the screening brings within the divine theatre of our being.